everybody. Hello,
Hi, everybody.
hello. I'm Crystal Khalil.
And I'm Dr. Nicola Beach. Hello.
And welcome to all of you who will be joining us on the replays as well.
Absolutely.
So today we are discussing the terror barrier. The terror barrier. That space where you feel like you are walking a tightrope and there is no net. Anybody ever feel like you're in this space where you don't know the how? You don't know how it's going to happen, how you're going to do it, but you know it's something that you need to do.
Yeah. And then you start focusing on all kinds of things, what you don't have, why you might not be worth it, why it may be the wrong time, why you don't have all of the resources. Everything is not dotted and crossed to do it. And it's big and it feels like you are gasping for air.
In fact, it's so big that you can't do it all by yourself.
That part.
You can't do it. Listen, here's a clue. Somebody write this down. If you can do it all by yourself, it's a goal.
Yeah.
If it's so big that you need help, it's a vision.
Oh, that's going to help somebody right now, because there is somebody that was definitely like, I need to make this smaller because I can't do all of this. I'm working. I've got a family.
Yeah.
I just started a new business. I can't do all of this. So let me just make it really small and bite-sized where I can control all of the pieces and parts and I can make it all happen me by myself. If that is you, it is okay.
It's okay.
Because that is a goal, and goals are amazing.
Yes.
They help us get traction and do a whole lot of great things. But a vision, it is not. Because a vision needs to be big enough that it scares you just a little bit.
Look, Jan Levon's aunt said it need to scare you so much that you pee a little bit.
Oh my God. That part.
That part.
Right?
You just need to be so scared that you twinkle. Just the thought
just
of
a
it.
little bit, because it's so scary.
Hey Drea, we see you in the comments.
And you know, I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. Yeah. Well, if that is you, hold tight.
Yeah. And how many times have you heard yourself say, I'm comfortable? I'm comfortable at this job. I'm comfortable in this relationship. I'm just comfortable at this weight. Whatever it is for you, where you are comfortable.
You know what's funny, sis? We talk about this all the time. And what we say is, you're not comfortable. It's just familiar. And you know what I just gathered? Most people that are in a good state, they never say, I'm comfortable.
Oh, no. I've heard people say at jobs, well, it's just comfortable. I was comfortable.
But when you say that with that face, what's really going on is it's familiar.
It's familiar. Well, you know, we get in ruts, right?
Right.
You know, if your job, if it's an easy commute or you can do it with your eyes closed, right? It's really, it's easy. So we say that it's comfortable. But what if we tell you that anything that is not growing is dying, or worse yet, it may already be dead?
You can simmer on that for a second. I know that's tough, right? Think about it, because I know some of you are pushing back and saying, I don't know. Well, if it's an inanimate object and it has no life, no, it's not growing because it's already dead.
Yeah.
But we as people, human beings, we are supposed to grow and progress and grow and progress. We're not supposed to be in the same place.
Right.
10 years previously, right? So if you are fighting to stay in the same place, you know what you're fighting for? Death. Right? So all of you who are like, I just want everything to stay the same.
Yeah.
That is what you're fighting for. You are fighting for death.
Yeah.
Because if it does that, it is not working to your greatest advantage.
Yeah.
So
what keeps us from moving into our next? What keeps us from pursuing those things that take us to the next level and that we are sure that we're growing in? And why do we sometimes choose to stay in that familiar place when we know better? We don't always do better, right?
That part.
So we choose to stay in that familiar place instead of moving to the next. What is that thing that we hit, that space that we hit, that keeps us from moving forward?
Anybody want to put it in the chat? I got the answer. Can I answer?
Say, ooh, 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 ooh. Yes, Nicole.
Fear.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Anybody ever struggle with a little fear? Yes, Casey. Yes, yes.
Or a whole lot of fear?
Yes.
Or it seems like it's debilitating?
Fear? Yes, Ariana. Fear. And fear is right there, dead smack in the center of that terror barrier.
Yes.
It's what keeps us from moving. And here's the other thing about that terror barrier that you need to know. It requires a sacrifice. It requires a sacrifice to push through that terror barrier to your next level. So I remember, Dr. Nicole, say 2018, I had a fantastic career. I had achieved a lot in my career in procurement, and had reached a level in my career that I had been striving for and working hard for almost 30 years. Mm-hmm. And I was comfortable. Right? I had a beautiful golden cage.
Did it have a swing?
It had a swing. Okay. It had a perch. It had
have fur?
It had fur and fluffy pillows. It was nice. It was a beautiful cage. Now I say cage because I felt like I could not flap and open my wings all the way to be myself. Mm-hmm. It had served its purpose. It grew me, it cultivated me. It was a safe place. It was a place where I was fed well and taken care of, but I wasn't able to truly spread my wings and fly. Anybody ever feel like you're in a golden cage? Anybody ever feel like you need more room? You know it's good, but it's not what is best for you. It's not your full potential. I see you in the comments. Mm-hmm. You know, you're in a good place, but it's not the best. See, because for some of you, your average is other people's excellence. Other people are looking at you and they're like, you are doing it. You got this good job. Yes. You are, you got a nice house. You got da-da-da-da-da. You're doing it. You've achieved a lot of things.
But you know
deep down that you are not walking in your full potential. Mm-hmm. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what we're talking about.
Yep.
Your average is other people's excellence. And so they're from the outside, they're looking in and they think that everything is great. Mm-hmm. But you're not satisfied. I see those ones. Mm-hmm. You're not satisfied with where you are. That's where I was. Mm-hmm. And I started to ask myself, what's next? What's next? Right? And I decided, well, I think that I enjoy serving people. I enjoy coaching people, helping people to reach their fullest potential. And I decided I wanted to write a book. How many of you know when you put something in the atmosphere and you say, I want to do something. I want to write a book. I want to start a business. Whatever it is that you want to do, when you put it in the atmosphere, the universe starts to align, and resources and destiny helpers start to randomly show up. Mm-hmm. So I put in the atmosphere that I wanted to write my book, and voila, the resources started to show up. And then I got the opportunity of a lifetime to write my book and launch it at NASA. Within 1 month of putting in the atmosphere that I wanted to write this book, I got the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, let me write this book. And I was given a deadline that I had to have the book finished within 6 months.
Accountability.
Love
it.
So I start writing this book, and it's no easy feat, right? Because like some of you, I'm busy, booked and busy, right? We got family, job, I've got all these responsibilities. I am doing everything for everybody else. And it's very difficult for me to take the time to put into myself. How many of you struggle with that? You can do and serve and be everything for everybody else. But when it comes time for you to focus on you and what is purposeful for you and your next level of growth, you struggle.
I got a question. Ooh. Is that service or is that a distraction? When you find all kinds of other things to do and you accept all kinds of assignments.
That's a great question.
But you are not putting any intentionality, sacrifice, time, due diligence, and care in what you're supposed to do.
And you know, overwhelm is a tactic to keep you out of movement.
Just saying.
Overwhelm. So I've got to steal time from myself that I'm giving to everybody else. I got to steal time for myself. And I start writing this book. And as I start writing this book, I start to reveal some things about myself and share some personal things about myself. And I reach a level of vulnerability that scares me. In fact, it scares me so much, I want to just be done with it. I want to not move forward.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, when people read this story, when people read my story, my book is called Hard Workers Work Hard and Networkers Move Up. And it's about my journey from first generation college student to becoming an executive for the largest luxury automotive sports brand in the world. And I start getting afraid of when my coworkers read the book or my friends read the book or even my family, because I'm vulnerable and I'm sharing things that I have never shared before. And the fear makes me want to run back to what's familiar. The fear makes me want to say, you know what? I don't even know why I'm doing this. I don't need to write a book.
Right. I'm not an author.
I've got a good job. How did I get myself into this anyway? Right. How can I get myself out of this? Have you ever felt like that? You know you want to do something, and then you get the opportunity to do it, or you see a path where you can make it happen, but you are afraid to cross the bridge. Anybody experience that? Mm-hmm. And I had to buckle down and I had to make a sacrifice. Mm-hmm. I had to sacrifice my time. I had to literally be intentional about my time and schedule time to do the work, to write the book. I had to sacrifice some relationships. Hey, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. I had to sacrifice some relationships. Because how many of you know that sometimes everybody in your life is not purposed to go with you the whole road?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you have been the one that focuses and takes care of everybody else, when you begin to focus on yourself, then sometimes people will drop off. So I had to sacrifice some relationships. I also had to sacrifice my mask.
That's good.
I had to sacrifice the mask that I wear, that I was wearing to work every day. I was wearing out in public, what everybody saw, because I was being vulnerable and I was allowing people to truly see me. So I had to sacrifice the mask. How many of you are afraid of sacrificing your mask? People see you one way. Your public persona is one thing, but who you truly are, the gift, they've never met.
How many of you are dating people and they've never met you? Or you're married to someone and they've still not met you? Oh, but that's another conversation.
Yes.
Just saying.
David, hey, Dorian. Dorian said, I sacrifice friends and family relationships. Yes. And Tasha says some relationships are seasonal. Absolutely. Trelonda, hey, say hello to my favorite coaches. Hello. Yeah, sometimes we have to, we always have to sacrifice to push through that terror barrier and to get over that fear.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to put that fear in my backpack and keep moving and keep writing. Mm-hmm. And I launched that book. I met my deadline and it completely changed my life. It took me to another level. Mm-hmm. So how many of you know that there's a sacrifice required? Maybe it's an investment in you. Maybe it's your time, your mask, your relationships, that there's something that you are holding on to that you need to release to get to your next level. If you know there's something you are holding on to that you need to release to get to your next level, it's time to make a sacrifice.
And you know what's funny? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I've never prayed that things would be worse. I would never have any opportunities. I would always go in reverse. I would never be elevated to the next level. I don't know about you, but that's never been my wish. Like, I don't sit down and say, oh, please let me just go back in reverse. Right? So what's interesting is that the terror barrier is an expectation that you can count on.
Yes. If you're growing.
If you're growing. If you're not trying to go back in reverse, and if you're not like, please don't give me any more blessings, don't give me any more clients, don't give me any more opportunity. If you are not in that space, then what it probably looks like is, I want to be paid what I'm worth. I want to create legacy for my family. I want to have good relationships at home and at work. I want to create a narrative where I can help others and not feel stressed and depressed and pushed down to be able to do that. If that's what you're saying in one way or another, then what you're pushing for is to get to a point where you are going to be somewhat terrified and have to make a decision to get through that level, get through that realm, get from that floor to the next.
In fact, the difference between people who live in familiar and people who continue to grow is the people that continue to grow and create success for themselves in their business, in their relationships, in their wealth, in their health, is they continue to push past that terror barrier and they create a new baseline for themselves.
Yes.
Where the familiar is no longer the baseline. You've created a new baseline. Does that make sense? Successful people are constantly pushing through that terror barrier to get to the next level.
They invite it. They know it's coming. It's like clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being fearful to the point of paralysis, they say, let's go.
And they embrace it.
And they embrace
feeling,
it.
They embrace that feeling that makes the rest of us go run in the corner like, oh, okay, I'm not moving forward.
Yeah.
I've got to invest that much money. I've got to put that much time into it. I'll stay where I am. No, thank you. They look at that as they're on the edge of opportunity.
Yeah. Yep. And they have evidence, right? So they keep record of what the terror barrier looked like last time.
Yeah.
And the success that they experienced because they were able to move through it.
That part. Y'all, somebody take that down.
Right?
Keep evidence, because you've been at this terror barrier before.
So what people that are struggling with success usually do is they focus on the fear and the feeling of the fear.
Yes.
What people that are successful usually do is they focus on the evidence and they recognize that their feelings are not always facts.
Oh, point. Can somebody write that down?
Point.
Feelings are not always facts.
Right? So what they're able to say is, I was afraid last time, but that helped me start my business. Yes. I was afraid last time, but that helped me start a more positive, effective communication with my boss so that I could leverage my next promotion. All of that.
I was afraid last time, but that helped me get out of a relationship that was not helping me to grow, that was not healthy for me.
Now listen, this is not for the faint of heart. So don't DM us and send us these messages saying, Crystal and Dr. Nicole, you all make it seem so easy. No, we're not making it seem easy. We're telling you the truth so that you have an expectation and you can start to liberate your mind.
That's the process.
Get ready, right?
Yes.
And we're going to talk about some of this. If you have not registered for Woman Unlimited, that is happening this Saturday, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you need to be there. Look at the bottom. You'll see Woman Unlimited. You'll see the Woman Unlimited VIP. You need to be there because this is the kind of stuff that we are going to talk about. How do you prepare for the terror? And then how do you push through that terror barrier to get to the point of reaping and goodness and evidence, and then do it all over again?
Because what Dr. Nicole and I realized is we both had used a 3-step simple process to go through that terror barrier to achieve great things in our lives. And then when we came together, we were able to follow that same process. Now, we didn't know it was a process at that time.
Right.
But when we sat down and analyzed how we went through this, how did we achieve successes? How were we able to create the world's largest international slumber party for 10,000 young women of color all over the world in less than 45 days? How were we able to do that? How were we able to build this tribe of amazing, brilliant women from all over the world and then teach them to duplicate these processes to create their businesses, to create their promotion in their job, to create better relationships and co-create healthier relationships, to attract the love that they deserve and desire? How were we able to do those things? And what we realize is there's 3 steps.
Yep.
Number 1, you have to liberate your mind from the belief system.
Yep. We'll talk about that.
We're going to, oh my God, if you're not going to be a Woman Unlimited VIP, you need to be there. Click the link. We're going to talk about liberating your mind from the belief system and those things that hold us back, that keep us in that familiar but uncomfortable space. Step 2 is activate. How do you get out of your own way? How do you stop self-sabotaging and allowing the people around you to sabotage you and keep you in that familiar space? How do you push past that sabotage, that inevitable sabotage that shows up to keep you in familiar? And then the third step in the process is acceleration. How do you connect with the right tribe of people, the people that can help you to accelerate and move to the next level
and get momentum? It's so interesting because
often, Debbie, come on, Debbie,
right? It's so interesting because, like Crystal said, we had no idea that we were experiencing this method individually. And then when we came together and we were able to compare notes and see how we moved through different possibilities and attracted different opportunities, that we were using the same thing and that we could teach it, support women in it, and help them not only start businesses, but create revenue that they wanted for their families, and create more meaningful relationships, because they weren't half women, they were whole, right? Man. So what's crazy, sis, is, many of you wouldn't know, but I was in corporate America, and I realized through all of the promotion and the leadership opportunity and the positioning, that was not the place I was supposed to bloom. And that was my reckoning. My new idea, we'll talk about that moment of reckoning where you're like, oh, this is not it.
Yeah.
It pays well. I've got influence. I've been promoted. I'm at a major Fortune 500 company. I've got huge responsibility on the East and West Coast. I'm the go-to person, but it's not it. So when I put it into the universe, that I understood what the universe was saying, that this was not my place to fully bloom, then I get the opportunity to leave. And I am happy. I'm like, I have been praying for this. I don't get fired, y'all. I get laid off with every perk you could think of. My entire department gets laid off, and I get everything: leadership library, vacation, severance. It is like, yes. But then I get set up before I could even get my severance, before I could get my exit letter, before I could pack a box, I get the opportunity for another job.
Wow.
A bigger job, more money job, more influence job.
Oh my gosh.
And I am crazy enough, though I didn't want to pray about it, because I'm a woman of faith, and say, did you see that I got an opportunity for a better job?
Wait, how many of you have prayed and asked for God to bless you in some kind of way, or for an opportunity to come your way? You've like, you put it in the atmosphere, you set it in stone that you want something new, something different, and then you receive a temptation.
Not a legitimate offer. Now, you'll have to be in our tribe to understand what we mean by that.
Drea said, I'm currently in this position right now.
Because if you don't know, because if you know, you know. But if you don't know, you would think that job was a legitimate offer. Here's the thing. It was a legitimate offer. It just wasn't a legitimate offer for what I was asking for. I was asking for purpose. I was asking for a space to bloom. I was asking for no ceiling, no lid. Man, the question became, is this what you have for me? And what I became really clear about was I could absolutely do that job. I could rock out at that job. It was at another network. It was at another network. It was going to be a better position. And I had a great position. It's going to pay me more money. It was going to give me access to the athletic club. Wow. As I was told by HR from my company, it is my job to turn down because it had already been set up. And then the question became, are you ready to make a sacrifice? I was like, no, this job is better than the one I had. You prayed to get away from the one you had. This one is the one you had on steroids. Do you want this, which is a temptation, or do you want this? I was like, well, I want this. Well, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. I am terrified. Are you telling me that I just got a better job? I'm supposed to not take that job and I don't have another job? Come on. You gotta be kidding me. Have you ever been in that position where you are praying for something and what gets offered to you is a little bit more of the same?
Yes.
But it shows up with a bow?
Yes.
It's the same as what you asked to get away from, but it shows up with a bow.
Yes.
The question becomes, are you willing to tell the difference between a legitimate offer and a temptation beyond your fear? And that's what I was asked to do, is to go with my fear, but choose the other path that I knew I had prayed for. And that's how I became an entrepreneur.
And what did the terror barrier look like?
I cried for 3 weeks. I got on a plane. I went to see my parents. I had to have gained some weight because they cooked and I ate and I ate and I slept and I cried and I ate some more, because in my mind, I was saying to myself, you just turned down a better job than the one you left. And you don't have all of the resources for your next. Why would you do that? Well, you do that. Now I understand. Then I'm telling you, blessings at times seem to fall on the foolish, but maybe not. I knew I had something that needed to be cultivated, and it was purpose-driven. And I knew I wanted purpose. I knew it because I had already done some things to recognize, well, that achievement is not going to bring me happy. That's not going to equal happy. The title's not going to equal happy. The money's not going to equal happy. So I knew that. The question was, when the terror barrier presented itself, could I recognize what it was? So can you recognize what it is?
How many of you are in the terror barrier right now as we speak? Put it in the chat if you're experiencing it or you have experienced it. Let us know. We see you, Lakita. Hello. And thank you, Arlene, for referring her. Yes.
It's a decision.
Drea says, I'm in this position right now. Yes, Drea. Yes.
Fear not. What the decision is asking you for, and you're going to have to come to Women Unlimited to understand. It's asking you to leap.
Ooh, to leap.
To leap.
Remember I said I was in the golden cage, right? Well, the truth was the door had been open all along.
That part.
I was in the cage, but the door was open all along. It was just a matter of when was I going to be ready to leap? When was I going to be mature enough to leap? When was I going to be ready to bet on myself?
That part, because you are the guarantee. You are the guarantee you've been looking for. You know how you say, well, what's the guarantee? Is this foolproof?
Is this guaranteed?
Is it guaranteed? It is because of you.
Yes.
You are the guarantee.
Yes.
So when you're thinking, because honestly, I was thinking back then, this is a huge risk. Who doesn't leave their job that is a leadership position at a major company, get another offer for another job that's bigger, better, and doesn't take it? That's foolishness. Yeah. You are taking a risk because who else is going to hire you? Me. And I'm a great boss.
Yes, yes.
I hired me. That was what was on the other side of the terror.
And there's some of you that are in positions where you're familiar but uncomfortable. Maybe you've been working on a job for a long time and you're ready for a move.
Yeah.
But that move is going to require some sacrifices. That move is going to require that you do things differently. Yeah. Maybe you need to change your image. Maybe you need to change your surrounding and connect with other people across departmental, your circle of friends. Maybe you need some additional certifications or whatever. You need to invest in yourself.
Maybe you need some coaches.
Maybe you need some coaching. Exactly.
Maybe you just need mentoring.
You need some mentoring, some confidence to step into your next. And the terror barrier is keeping you right here. And the problem with staying there is, again, it's familiar but uncomfortable, and it's not promised. It's not promised. How many of you know some people that stayed in familiar and then familiar kicked them out the nest? They either got laid off, they got fired, or they were in a relationship and that person broke up with them and they knew it wasn't right. They were hanging in familiar and familiar kicked them out. You don't want that to be you.
You do not.
Drea said, I need some coaches and mentors. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Drea.
Yes.
You need to be at Woman Unlimited.
You don't want that to be
You need to be at Woman Unlimited Live.
Because the time, the energy that you spend trying to hold on to familiar, you will be reminded that that was the choice that you made.
Yeah. And you know, before you go through the process of liberate, activate, accelerate, before you get liberated, you might feel a little overwhelmed. You may feel a little depressed, unhappiness, right? That familiar space is not comfortable, and it's not always, you don't feel fed. You may not see seen you may not feel that anybody sees you or anybody hears you or anybody really knows you, right? You may feel unappreciated. How many of you have experienced that?
I see Foreign Breed. We see you.
Yes.
We see you, Lala Makeup Girl. We see you, Lakita Perry. We see you.
Oh, Foreign says she needs some help with her relationships. You need to be a Woman Unlimited Live, Foreign.
And tell your friends, because this whole thing is so much easier because we do it in tribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do it in tribe. We move forward in tribe. If you don't know what that is, it's okay.
Yes.
This is but the beginning of a wonderful relationship.
Yes. Welcome.
But if you don't want to go and grow, we're not the ones for you.
Because see, on the other side of this process, once you learn, liberate, activate, accelerate, you're free.
Yep.
You're free. What we specialize is helping women to unbind and unleash their unlimited potential and find that freedom. There's a freedom when you know the path and you're able to break through your terror barrier and you know you're not stuck, you're just not moving. So how often do you say, I'm stuck? I feel stuck. I'm stuck. Well, the question is, when was the last time you tried to move?
We'll wait.
What's the evidence that you're really stuck?
Just saying. So we are that tribe. If you're like, I don't want to grow, I don't want to go, I don't feel there's anything more for me, we're not your tribe.
Right.
But I would ask you to even test that, because sometimes you've been beat up so much by other folks that you think you're done. I would say, Crystal would say, you're not done. You might be a little worn out. You might have been beat down a little bit, but you're still brilliant. You're still amazing. So you're not done. You just got to get with the right group of folks that see you, understand you, and can help you spread your wings, because your wings still work. Okay? So if you are that person that's like, oh, I don't know, they seem to have it together. Look at their hair. Hair's popping. I don't know. They seem to be so clear. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what's next. Don't stop at that question. You've just got to get with the right tribe and group of people that can help you see the possibility of what's next.
People who have already been where you're trying to go.
People
who will uplift you and encourage you, not tear you down or discourage you. People that see possibility, people that are not afraid of you shining your light, because they know that your light does not diminish my light. In fact, when we all shine together, it's just that much brighter. See, how many of you have people in your circle that are trying to diminish your light, that don't value your light?
Or they're just afraid of it because your light wants to do other things that they've never done. Sometimes they're trying to protect you. But you know, on the inside, you feel it on the inside that you were called for more. And it doesn't matter how successful you are at this moment. Or if you are in one of those seasons where the locusts have come and they've eaten up everything and you feel like you are starting over, let us encourage you.
Lala Makeup Girl says, I caught COVID, was in ICU for 3 months, and was in leadership in corporate America. I'm different because it affected my processing. I'm stuck trying to now live in my new normal. Wow.
Sis, we support you, encourage you, appreciate what you've been through. And you know the thing that is interesting? Every story has something that you've been through that other people are going to be elevated by. Because it's all going to work.
All things work together.
It's all going to work for the good. So what we hold the space for, Lala Makeup Girl, is what is on the other side of this new normal. We hold the space for that because we believe if it happened, you're going to be able to use it. It wasn't predicted. You didn't know it was coming, but that does not delineate your opportunity to use it. So we hold the space for that. And we invite you to come and hang out with us on Saturday, because it's going to be all that.
Listen.
And then some.
And this Woman Unlimited Live is a 4-hour event where we deep dive and we talk about the steps to liberate, activate, and accelerate. Some of you will be like, 4 hours on a Saturday? Are you worth 4 hours on a Saturday?
That part. Because I bet you if your niece or your sister
or your church
or your husband
or your community
or your church or one of your kids said, Mom, I need you to do this for me on Saturday, you might fuss a little bit, maybe. but then you will stand in your post
Yes.
and be where they need you to be. When was the last time you did something that invested in you and you weren't rushing and you weren't beating yourself up because you are taking time for yourself, but you were present, you were ready, and you had your hands open and said, I am ready for whatever this experience is supposed to gift me.
Yes.
Just like when you show up for folks, you're the gift.
Absolutely.
When you show up, they're like, yes.
Yes. And some of you have been carrying around a vision or a dream like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You've been carrying it, but the problem is, instead of 9 months, you've been carrying it for 9 years, 20 years. You know you need to be familiar and move into your next. You know there's more for you. Mm-hmm. You need to be at Woman Unlimited. Mm-hmm. Some of you are in relationships that need help. Mm-hmm. Some of you need tools to create healthier relationships that are going to take you to the next level. See, what we believe in is we don't want anybody to be a professional success and a personal failure. It all works together. Mm-hmm. You are an entire woman. You're not one-dimensional. It all works together.
Love that, Arlene. Ladies, trust me, it's worth every minute.
Thank you,
that,
Arlene.
Arlene and our Hear My Cry community. Yes. Love it.
Yes.
So here's the thing. It's Tuesday. You know, a lot of people can call you on Friday at 9 o'clock at night and expect you to show up for them on Saturday morning. Now, we're not talking about an emergency. We're not talking about a crisis, but they can call you and expect you to show up with your brilliant self. Can you expect you to show up for you with 5-6 days advance notice? Can you count on you for that? Because people ask us how we do what we do all the time. And there is a first part of it that is showing up, being in the room, and being present.
And listen, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this on replay, you're not here by accident.
That part.
It's not a coincidence.
You didn't just catch it.
You didn't just catch it. You are here for a reason. There is something that you need to do. There's another level that you need to achieve. Mm-hmm. There is somebody waiting on you to show up. And we are here to help you cross that threshold of the terror barrier. Mm-hmm. You need to be at Woman Unlimited Live.
We can't wait to see you. We can't wait for you to experience us on a Saturday morning.
Bring your fun. Bring your
fun. Because it is
yes,
a whole lot of fun. And it's real. And it's support. And you get to come and be your authentic self. So we look forward to seeing you on Saturday. You all be blessed.
Keep pushing.
Keep it going.
Bye-bye.